Welcome back to the channel. And if you're listening on the podcast, Awakened and Aligned podcast, my name is Shannon Kaiser, and I am an author who writes books on the psychology of getting unstuck, of happiness and fulfillment, but most importantly, self-love. And self-love is so important. One of my most popular books, The Self-Love Experiment, is all about falling in love with yourself and your life. And it's so important to feel self-love. It gets misconstrued quite a bit, though. And chances are, if you clicked on this and you are watching, listening, then self-love is something that's very important to you, and you're on a journey where you want to feel more of it. So I'm all here for you for that. We want to feel better. We want to connect to ourselves. And it comes back to feeling confident, to knowing your worth, to knowing that you are important and you deserve to be happy. Self-love is often very much misconstrued with selfishness in our culture. And that's why today's topic is so important. I just got a message from a coaching client recently in my inbox. And I hear this question a lot, actually. In the workshops that I teach, people kind of pull me aside after the lectures, or readers from books, my books will reach out. And the question in my coaching client, she just said, this is all well and good. Like I'm really jazzed up to try to work on my passion, and I'm ready to find, what makes me happy. However, I can't get past, isn't it selfish to focus on me? And that's really what we're talking about today. When we think about focusing on ourselves, we have been conditioned to think that it is egotistical, that we are, narcissistic, that we are really selfish. So today we are talking about the difference between self-love and selfish love. Major differences. So this can help you kind of distinguish. What I will say first and foremost, if you clicked on this video and you're watching or listening, chances are you really are coming from a place of wanting to make a difference for yourself and others with love. Self-love is not selfless in the sense of I'm going to sacrifice myself at the expense of everyone else. It is, I am going to show up for myself so I can show up for everyone else. So the very first thing we can look at is self-love. Even if you were to, if you wanted to get out a pen and paper, mini coaching session here, pull out a pen and paper, draw a line down the middle, put self-love on one side and selfish love on the other. The very first thing under self-love is it's about service to others. And selfish love is really a service to self. We operate from two different places in this world. Some people are very, very comfortable focusing on others, and others are focused on themselves. You want to find where you fit, because when you are showing up from a place of truly loving yourself, it is because you want to be stronger, healthier, happier for all of those in your life, so you can do your mission, your work, your legacy, whatever it is you're working to build, so you can come from a place of strength, of wisdom, of health and vitality. This is not about you being your own best self for only you at the cost of everyone else. That is where service to yourself comes in, and that's what selfish love is. And I think we're really worried getting into the self-love journey that it's going to be selfish. Oh my gosh. But that's exactly what the culture has trained us, and the world has really conditioned us to believe that, hey, if you show up for yourself, then you're a bad person. But guess what? This is conditioning. This is a control mentality to keep us playing small. Because imagine if everyone genuinely, truly did love themselves, not from a place of ego, but a place of genuine appreciation. Imagine a world where every single person really loved themselves. In this experience, there would be no more backstabbing, hate, manipulation, abuse. We would really love ourselves, because when you love yourself, you realize you're loving others, because we are connected. And there's a layer to this, that it's really recognizing that love is love, and it's important to honor yourself, because when you do, you show up for others. So selfish love is really more vain and egotistical. It's I'm going to win at all costs. I matter and I'm the only one that matters. When you come to your personal growth journey from self-love, you're actually looking at a journey. You're looking at being better and improving yourself. Whereas true selfish people, people who are really only in it for themselves, people who are very much in their ego, they're not interested in developing. They're usually not interested in growing. And so the other thing you can think of is self-love is about growth and healing, true self-love. And selfish love is not, right? So when we're looking at our chart, you can put it on each side. The next one to think about is self-love is really from your heart. It's from your heart, which is all about authenticity. It's about appreciation. It's about joy and connection. Whereas selfish love is really from your head and the brain that really wants to control its outcome, the selfish part that wants to manipulate others to play into the scenario that we really want. Selfish love is about really coming from a place of, I, again, must win at all costs. So this is very different. Is it coming from your heart or your head? That's another way to know if it's genuine, real self-love versus selfish love. Another thing to really recognize, and I talk about this in some of my books, is self-love is living in accordance with your values. Self-love is really about being in integrity with self, and selfish love is not. Selfish love is out of integrity with self and not living in accordance to your values. Now, your values from a self-love, a genuine self-love place are compassion, understanding, appreciation, love, connection, joy. These are all very loving, heart-based experiences. But when you think of selfish love coming from a place of, I want more control, more money, more power, more, these are values based from ego and head. And these are values based often from fear that I'm not going to have enough, that the world is out to get me, that I must control and take in order to have my way. Whereas self-love comes from your spiritual self, your heart self, the part of you that knows all is okay, that you are being held and cared for, that you are being nurtured, and nurturing yourself is the best way to help others. So self-love and selfish love are very different. I have a couple more I'll take you through where you can just tap into and think of the difference and how you want to move forward on your self-love journey. Another one is to really know that self-love is holding yourself accountable. Real, genuine self-love is about seeing your role in situations, taking accountability, healing yourself. And this could be anything and everything from showing up for videos and, podcasts like this, going deeper into your own inner child history and looking at your own wounds, your limiting beliefs, reading personal development books or spiritual books or any kind of type of resource that you feel guided to, psychology books, working with mental health professionals, wellness coaches, therapists, doing different processes, working with a life coach. All of this is a part of your journey, part of your well-being practice. And this is about holding yourself accountable to see how you showed up in the situation, not from lip service, not saying, oh yeah, I'll change, and then never really taking action. It's really saying, wow, I see how I played a part in this reality, and I'm going to take accountability because I want to do better. I want to focus on really healing. And this is a really expansive place to be. Whereas selfish love is not at all about accountability. Selfish love will often do what they can to avoid responsibility. And it's not even really something you can call love because they're so selfish in the sense that they are going to focus on going from situation in situation. A lot of times they have a lot of burnt bridges. A lot of times there are people from their past that, there might be lawsuits out against, when you get into the really heavy energy of really running away from their responsibilities, there's like a stream of bad things in the sense, not necessarily bad, but like, lots of red flags behind them, whether it's burnt bridges or different lawsuits. I knew someone one time where they had like 5 different lawsuits. People were suing them, all neighbors, exes, family members, and they thought all of them were the problem, every single one of them. And they were the only one who was being sued 5 times, right? So self-love and selfish love. Very, very, very different. The final one I will share, and when we're talking about self-love, it's really about recognizing where the influence is. The influence of genuine, real self-love is not based on anything outside of you, nothing outside of you, but on the inside. It's how you want to and are committed to feeling on the inside. Your inner world is a reflection of your outer world. That is what A Course in Miracles talks about. And when we get to this place, we start to recognize that I must start to take care of myself on the inside, and this will manifest on the outside. When I show up for myself, when I focus on what's going on in here, everything changes. So your inner world is actually driving the self-love practice, whereas selfish love is almost always based on outside circumstances, outside situations, basically on achievements, on how the world and others will perceive them or perceive you. Self-love from a genuine place is, I'm committed to me. I want to show up for me and feel good because I know that that is how I can best help everyone around me and how I can best help the planet. And selfish love is, I need to achieve, do, step on, and do what I can to get ahead. I don't really care about others because I really want to look good in society from a place of, what is my image? What is my image? And that's the difference. Self-love, genuine self-love, is not image focused, it's feeling focused. Whereas selfish love is 1,000, 1,000,000% image focused. So those are some ways that we can decide and really truly tap into the self-love, the genuine nature of true self-love versus selfish love. I'd love to hear in the comments what your real focus is and how you're going to show up for yourself with a place of self-love. You know, and I was on my journey for many years where I felt self-love was selfish too. And I hated myself. I couldn't look in the mirror and say anything nice about myself. And I got to a place where I realized I have to show up for me. And it was a moment where it clicked. And this is when I started writing the self-love experiment. So like an internal click within me. And it was an aha moment where I'll leave you with this today. When I love myself, it's actually not selfish at all. Because when I show up and love myself, that's actually one less person hurting on the planet. That's one less person in pain, one less person who is hating themselves and sending negative messages out in the world at themselves. And when I do that, when I step into a place of love for self, I show up in a place where I raise my vibration. And in this place, I'm helping the whole planet because that's one less person in pain, one less person suffering. And so if we just do this one at a time, one person less, it starts to be millions less, billions less. And we help to create a more loving world. That's what it's really about. Thanks for joining today. And thanks for playing with the world.